Welcome to Airborne on staugustine.com here at the Eclipse Recording Company in St. Augustine, Florida. Want to welcome Jake Fitzroy. Jake, how are you, sir?
Seeing you again.
Good to have you back. Jake is with the Guantanamo Matanzas National Estuarine Research Reserve.
Yep.
We know as GTM NER.
Mm-hmm.
A whole lot easier to say than that.
GTM NER is a favorite.
yeah. NER news is good news, as they say.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Welcome back, Jake. I know we have a lot of interesting things in past episodes when we were doing the live radio. You brought in snakes. You brought in live terrapin. Today we're here to talk about sharks.
Yep. No live ones today, though.
Yeah, thank goodness. I don't know if we get it into the studio.
I want one, but they haven't given it to me yet. So.
We live here on the coast of northeast Florida. What kind of sharks might we see in the area, and should we be alarmed?
Well, most of the sharks we're going to see in the area are going to be the ones that feed on bait fish. So black tips, some lemon sharks, spinner sharks, things like that. Mm-hmm. And they're all really cool, but for the most part, they don't attack people. The grand majority of attacks that ever happen on people in this area are called hit-and-run attacks. Now, that sounds bad, but mostly it's these medium, small-sized sharks trying to feed on bait fish, and they mistake your arm or something for a menhaden or something like that. They'll bite it, and they'll run. Usually a surfer or something like that, you'll hear about it in the paper the next day, and they say he was fine. So those are the grand majority of attacks, and according to the UF website that compiles every attack ever, there's never been a fatal attack in St. Johns County.
Wow. So they tend to be sensationalized, but really it usually is a case of mistaken identity.
Yeah.
The shark grabs and releases and goes, that doesn't feel like what I'm usually...
We don't taste good.
Yeah.
Either. Yeah. They did studies on blood and stuff, and we don't taste like seals.
Right.
So they're really not interested.
I remember a program talking about that, about fat content and everything, and we just don't have enough calories for them.
We're similar to lamb, as I understand it, and they tried feeding lambs to sharks, and the sharks just weren't interested.
Wow.
When they moved to something like a seal or maybe like a pig with more fat, it tasted better.
Oh, well,
I guess we're just bitter.
That's comforting.
Yeah.
Are we on any migratory routes? Are there other sharks that come through here?
There are, right now, the reason I had the program at the GTM NER is that we have great whites off our shore right now. Yes. Okay. Now, it sounds really bad, but they're really rare, and they actually follow the right whales.
I was wondering.
Down from up north. Now, I know last time I was with you, we did the right whales.
Yeah.
And if you've seen one, great. There's only about 350 to 400 left, and it's extremely rare. Count yourself lucky. I've only seen one. But we had some people that were at the reserve during the week that actually saw 9 at one time. Right at the Gate gas station, if you're coming from St. Augustine going north, the Gate gas stations, right before us, they were out in there buying gas, and they saw 9 right offshore. Didn't need binoculars or anything, so.
Wow.
Yeah.
The sharks must be interested in the calving, the great whites, huh? There's calving going on down there.
There is. That's why they come down here to have their calves. Both males and females come down. The males come to mate. And there's a debate on whether great whites can kill a calf or not, depending on the size of the shark or not. But the picture you see right now is from St. Augustine last year. It was a calf that might have died for natural purposes or was killed by the shark eating it, but most of the head and the entire tail was removed by that and other sharks.
I see.
So, but in the past, we had seals, we had tens of thousands of right whales that would be here, and chances are a couple of them are going to die every year.
Right.
And they really, really like the carcasses. So that's one thing. Be safe. If you see a whale carcass in the water, don't go swim up to it. That's one of my rules. I'll go over more, but yeah.
As always, you brought in some goodies. What do we have here? We're talking about great whites and their love for the right whale calving season, and you've got some exhibits here. You want to share with us what you got?
So
here?
Right off the bat, we'll go to what some people thought was a great white's ancestor, the megalodon. It's actually great whites were evolved makos. They're originally mako sharks, so they're a little more distant than we thought. But this was the ultimate marine mammal predator, and this would take easily right whale calves in their heyday. And they're extinct now. They've been extinct for
thank goodness
for many years. But No, but this is a very large tooth even for them. But some people can still find them in the Swanee and different things like that when they do dredging.
Yeah.
So a lot of them pop up. This is a reproduction. This would be extremely valuable if it was real. But
gracious.
Yep.
Now, what size would this fella be?
It got up to 60 feet. This is probably pretty close to max. This is a very large tooth.
Wow.
And they would feed on whales and whale calves. And the juveniles were actually really similar to the great whites in their feeding habits. They actually feed on dugongs and stuff. And we don't have dugongs now. They're in Australia, but
they were a relative of the manatee,
yep,
weren't they?
They look pretty similar. They have more dolphin-like tails, the dugong, and to my knowledge, there hasn't been a lot of great whites attacking manatees.
Yeah.
But it might be something for the bull shark. But.
Now, I notice you have another shark here, tooth.
So this is an actual great white tooth. This is a little less exciting, but actually, brother found this on Michler's. But still get a little white. It's really hard to tell how old the tooth is just by the color. You could have a cow bone that's completely black. It's only a couple decades old, and you can have a white shark tooth that's several millions. But because this is in the ocean, it's not completely black. It's probably not that old. This is probably pure guess, maybe like a 13, 14 foot individual. So
they'll have rows and rows of them. The sharks will, and you have a bull shark here. I'll grab the teeth.
Okay,
You've got some jaws there for a bull shark.
Yep.
Now the bulls are they can. Is it fair to say they can be a little on the aggressive side, or is that the right way?
They are one of the
it?
3 sharks you should be worried about if you see in the water. More than any other. You should be worried about any shark that's 6 feet or larger.
Right.
Give it space. Do not harass it.
Right.
And kind of get out of the water and see what it's doing. I wouldn't recommend swimming with any shark 6 feet or larger, no matter what. But this is a bull shark, and this is a pretty large animal. They are near water shark species. So the great whites, you really don't have to worry about.
Yeah.
They're several miles offshore. The picture that's showing now was a shark from about 6 miles off Mayport, and he's eating a black drum. And it's extremely rare for even offshore fishermen to see that kind of thing. So they took a lot of pictures, and you're seeing one of them. But so they're several miles offshore. The bull sharks are very opportunistic, and they live in estuaries, and they live near shore in the first couple miles. So, and they'll eat anything.
Did you say estuaries? Inland?
Yep. They can go several miles up to. The record is a bull shark was found in Illinois up the Mississippi.
Oh my goodness! In fresh water?
Yep. They have a special exchange system that they can survive in fresh water.
Gracious.
It's unique for sharks, but they're in this area. So you're pretty safe. But what to avoid is swimming with your dog near fishermen and a whale carcass at night. Wearing shiny jewelry in contrasting colors. If you avoid that,
if I can keep that list.
Yeah. So, but those are, and don't have a splashing contest with all your friends.
Right.
At that time either, so.
There are myths surrounding sharks too. Have some been dispelled? Have there been?
Well, there's some myths about how you can stay safe. Like if you see dolphins in the water and porpoises on shore, you're safe because they'll come and protect you.
Tell us about that.
That's a very big myth.
See this? Yeah.
Dolphins and sharks eat much of the same thing, and if there's dolphins in the area, there's a good chance there's bait schools. And if you see shorebirds diving into those bait schools, you're really sure there are bait schools around. And that's when you get your black tips and possibly any shark. But some of the more common sharks will be feeding in the area, and there's a potential that some of them might do the hit and run if you're like right in the middle of that school and they don't see you. One thing to protect yourself from that is don't wear like highly contrasting clothing. And try to have an even tan. I know that sounds weird, but don't like burn your front and then get white on your back, that kind of thing. So any of that contrast, same with jewelry. That's just some of the general things to keep safe in the water in those situations.
So we really appreciate you coming in, as always, Jake. It's
Thanks
always a pleasure. From the GTM Reserve, GTM Nariguana, Talamata, Matanzas, National Estuarine Research Reserve. There, I did it.
Come and see us. We're open. The building is not closed. We're probably going to be closed maybe a week, sometime in the month or so in the future.
Yeah.
But we are officially open. I know the rumor's been flying around that we're closed, but no. We're
beautiful
open for business.
It's a beautiful facility, and if folks would like to learn more, what's the best way to reach?
Our website is gtmnerd.org, and our phone number is 823-4500. And on the website will be a list of events as they come per month. And we definitely have shark programs, snakes programs, stuff on the weekends, stuff for kids.
It's always good to have you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you enjoy your work?
Very much.
Yeah.
And if you want to come out, volunteer.
Oh, yeah.
We'd be glad to have you.
You have volunteer opportunities.
Yeah, we do, definitely. Sea turtle nesting season's coming up. We have volunteers that work with that. There's a whole, depending on what you want to do and what you're good at, a lot of opportunities for volunteering.
Terrific. Thanks again, Jake Fitzroy. Folks, that's Airborne on staugustine.com, bringing interesting people from your world so you can stay dialed into your community and the folks who make it tick. We'll see you next time.